Hello boys, my name is Kuliyoshi and welcome back to my 100% blind playthrough of Metroid Dread. In the last episode we left off doing some stuff in a couple of other zones, mainly in the new zone of Verenia, also known as the cold climate, or I guess Verenia. And we met the first ever Chozo warrior. In fact, if we go to the mission log, yes, we met the Chozo, a robot Chozo soldiers in particular. And by doing a couple of other setups, we found a way to basically go through and do other stuff. And of course, we defeated multiple bosses all on our way, including some extra small stuff within. The biggest change, though, is we managed to collect some small items while we were waiting, and in doing so, we have basically found our way into the next part of the game. All this was done while picking up a lot of items. Now we are back in it, though, trying to get some more stuff. Okay. Speed booster block, huh? No problem for me. Assuming I activated it at the right time, that is. We acquired a lot of items as well, including the speed booster, a couple of other items, but we are still missing the gravity suit, absolutely required for full completion, and then regular power bombs afterwards. So that's what we're trying to find next, and also try and find a way forward. For now, our next major item is in Verenia, though, so that's where we're going. Oh, and yes, we fought a very difficult boss as well, but I think I need to stop talking less and actually focus more on... That was the wrong way to go. I wanted to go this way. Excuse me. In case you're wondering why we're low health, that's because we fought a very mean Chozo who had a lot of health and a lot of problems. More or less, he was just a really, really difficult boss and took quite a few tries to beat. Part of the blind playthrough is learning how to deal with the different fights. At first, I was actually able to learn him pretty quickly, but then I kind of suicided into other stuff. My biggest confusion was I thought it was so hard, I thought it wasn't actually needed to battle him, but no, you have to battle him. And yeah, it was led into probably one of the more frustrating fights I've had to experience, requiring me to essentially stall him out for like 90% of his life until he finally died, at which point we could finally continue on. So yeah, I'm starting this episode off with 3 energy takes for that reason, because there were very little tanks there to begin with, and now we have other stuff. So, another thing I just learned, the mission log is also available in this. That, furthermore, tells you where you should actually go. So, you can read that as part of the dialogue to actually learn where to go next. So I did that just to make sure I remembered where to go, and I guess we're going into Verenia. Verenia is still pretty much underwater, which means at this point our next item, the gravity suit, is probably here, but who knows. Of course, one of my favorite changes to the setup I've already mentioned multiple times is the fact that you don't always immediately die when you run out of health and other stuff and do other stuff. Instead, what's supposedly a big failure actually more or less turns into you being able to essentially do stuff whenever you want. That robot will pretty much just play my health if I go in with low health. If I was doing this in with full energy, I probably would have just damage boosted him. Alright, so the upper top spot you see up there, that's the room that actually got opened properly. with the secret I mentioned that I would have to go to at some point, and sure enough, it was a secret. In fact, the entire door moved out of the way, and now that allows me to do some extra stuff. Alright. Because I'm pretty alive, I am farming enemies for drops if I can help it. We acquired a lot of things while we went on as well. The biggest thing we acquired in terms of new stuff involved the gravity, the Grapple Beam. A classic beam required to reach lots of low zones, and in this case also required to destroy big boxes as well. It looks like we found the map station for this area now. This will furthermore show where to go. Alright then. Still no energy refill, unfortunately. Looks like the entire area up to the top is open to us right now. Can't really go anywhere else due to the place being underwater, so that's probably what we're going to do. Pull this out of the way first so we finally open up that shortcut that we've been waiting a long time for, pretty much. Okay, we can reflect his shot. Not bad. A lot of times when you're having trouble revealing doors, often the secret doesn't really lie in doing other stuff, but instead relies on being able to do a different effect. Oh. Okay, there we go. Oh, that was a trap. The moment we went in it, we thought we had gotten past that door, but then it kind of just sent us out somewhere else. Alright, well, at least we're learning stuff. Is it full? Yep. Okay. Looks like I'm gonna have to use missiles to actually find the proper target. There it is. That's where we have to go. Oh, great. We're gonna have to do it really fast. This isn't necessarily a tough area, nor a tough setup. Just a really tough puzzle you have to do really fast for some reason. The biggest problem is I have to get this destroyed and then do the other thing at the same time, which is a bit obnoxious, really. Okay, there we go. Using multiple setups, we finally acquired it. We found a hidden item. Again, we acquire all items for 100%, so have to pick that up at some point. One of my least favorite enemies in the game. Jeez, there's so many enemies nearby that I can't really figure out what to do. Okay, this one I can stall out, which is fine, but All the other ones so far have been really nasty. Okay, that one we can take out in one hit. That makes it a bit easier. And this is a shortcut to the previous room. This is going to be a lot we have to explore, clearly, to get anywhere in this zone. At first I thought, oh, Berenia looked kind of weird from the outro. It looked like it was going to be Everplace. And I thought Berenia is going to be the coal environment. It was going to do this. This I kind of understood that it was the cold environment, but everything else I didn't really understand. And yes, that's more or less my own problem. Trying to turn this down, I guess, a little bit so it's not as bad. Not sure if that will change the video's quality, but we'll see if that allows you to hear me a bit better. Something that I probably should figure out. Finally, an energy refill. I'm starting to get worried there'd be no energy refills in this mode. Look at all the escapes that I have to do, and yet the enemy's side still chase me, despite all of that. It's such an annoying enemy. Just never gives up. But 1 second we think we're able to get stuff, and then this guy just chases his minions after us to oblivion. It's not fun when you have to deal with an enemy like that. Not quite as bad of a grab puzzle. But now we have this jerk again. Seems like charge is the best way to go against him. Part of the problem is you have to let him attack you first. Okay, that was a little bit of a better eye door kill. Yes, it's known as an eye door. What do you expect? Eye door can only mean one thing. That means we are in another boss battle. This time underwater. Oh my. I have no clue what this guy is named. Definitely doesn't look nice though. I think the first thing I'm gonna do is start trying to figure out what to do. Oh, that top part is where he's vulnerable. Okay, we have to make exclusive use of the Grapple Beam here. Very huge learning curve to a lot of these bosses, especially if you don't know what to do. Particularly in this volume playthrough, like, in particular, there's a huge learning curve to all the bosses. At first, it seems like you should be able to do them freely, but like, I feel like the more later I get into the game, the more damage I take from all the stuff. You haven't really noticed, but those guys that attacked me, they did 80 damage in energy. And I guess while that seems to only do 20 damage, that's still quite a bit. Versus like 80 energy. I'm pretty much having to kill all these things to try and farm up my energy. Also, I think the red one can't even be attacked by default. We finally attacked him, but... Oh, frick me. I was supposed to get on the other side of them. Yeah, so that was definitely at least 80 damage. It seems, even if we have a lot of energy, the later we get into the game, the more difficult it is. So, yet another very trolly boss. So, again, this is going to be a very huge learning curve for me, and I'm not going to be able to probably do this until later. At least we know how to at least avoid the major part of his attacks. The problem is, we learned that way too late and basically already took a death, so we're going to try again. Hopefully this time things go a bit better. Looks like we can't missile spam this one. That Tentacle Attack is probably my least favorite so far. It's really quick and also very annoying to deal with. This is what I was trying to do. Use this to slowly ride all the way to the other side. Whoa! Actually, that Tentacle Attack did like 3 bars of life. I'm pretty sure I had full bars and I just lost over 100 energy at once. So that means that attack did around 160 damage actually. Not a fun boss, honestly. Thankfully you can tell the patterns. Okay, well that one wasn't as bad, but I don't know, like, I guess just the big attack I took and also was combined with another attack. Those 2 tail attacks alone took a lot of my energy. Okay, so that confirms the red cannot be destroyed, but the blue can. Oh, okay. How am I supposed to get there in time if I can't even do stuff? This is a huge learning curve just for this boss. Maybe after you take this a set amount of times, you can maybe successfully move on. Of course, well, now that I know how to charge properly, I have a better learning pattern in which to actually attack the enemy. So in addition to be able to do other stuff, I feel like I'm able to do melee a lot easier. Yeah, see? Okay, that one only did 16 for some reason. But the main vehicle thing on top there, that does around 160 damage. What am I supposed to even do, honestly? I am gonna have to figure out if there's a hidden tip or not yet. This is the problem with the blind playthrough, is trying to figure out what to do for each boss. I know for a fact we have to Grapple Beam. That part I've pretty much figured out from the beginning. But I've never once figured out how to deal with this brute's main attack. Because if I can't get on the other side, then how am I gonna beat him? This might actually be a case of I may have gone a bit too early and he doesn't actually have the gravity suit at all. In fact, I may have to grab the gravity suit elsewhere. I just realized that. Yeah. I've just realized because of this I might be a major item. I'm purposely I am get back up because I'm still trying to figure out whether or not I can actually get there in time. See how many missiles it takes him. Okay, not too much, I guess. See, look, this is too slow. You're supposed to get on here at... Oh. Wait a minute, there's a green thing as well. Okay, I'm gonna do one more route. Drain the green thing. If not, then this boss will actually be claimed to not have the gravity suit. In fact, a lot of people are probably complaining about me not having the gravity suit yet. I don't want to give up just yet, though. Before I ultimately call this a failure, I'm gonna first try and make him do the attack setup again. Then when he does that, I'm gonna see if I can, Oh! 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 So that's what you're supposed to do. Okay, well, I'm gonna take a death because I took way too many hits. This is on purpose, by the way, because I pretty much already died by losing a lot of health. And now that I found that out, I'm going to try my best to actually avoid his attacks this time. And next time when he falls, I'm going to actually lower the water. In fact, people are probably frustrated that I missed that. And yes, I'm probably right about the fact that he has to have gravity suit. I just didn't know how to beat him until that mysterious thing came his way. We're gonna try and use missiles on him. Probably not gonna be easy to use. Particularly because we have to destroy one blob. We don't have to destroy too many. So we're gonna use this to lower the water. At which point, we can now actually zip over to the other side properly. And then lower the water some more. And there we go. Okay, so now his eye is actually revealed. Alright, so that's how we're supposed to take care of him. He's still a big jerk, but now at least he can be defeated properly. But again, we'll have to farm some missiles. This is much tougher to farm. In fact, pretty much one hit from anything here will result in my farm pretty much getting obliterated. So I need to make sure I destroy all these balls correctly. I think the red might only be missile destroyable now I think of it. Knowing this game, that's probably what the case would be. And so far, yes, this is a pretty frustrating boss, because I did not expect him to do this much damage. Particularly the tentacles, which could just do 80 damage out of nowhere. I'm trying my hardest to farm up energy, but it doesn't always drop, and when it does actually drop, it's crazy. Alright, so I have to lower the water first, so we can make the thing go fast enough. At which point we then have to use another charge beam to lower it again to actually hit this jerk. I'm gonna use charge shots instead. Avoided the secondary attack this time. I think I can beat him just using charge attacks if I'm good enough. If I have more health, I might go for more of a missile strategy, but this boss so far has been not nice at all. And yes, this Tentacle Attack is by far the worst. It's very tough to avoid properly. Okay, we got the attack a bit sooner. And yes, the first part stuns him, because otherwise he would immediately bring his electric field up again. Let's see, look at that. All that health I farmed, immediately taken away by just one attack, which means that main tentacle does around 160 damage or so. That's so brutal. They really need to nerf some of this damage. I know there isn't a hard mode setup for this yet. I guess this makes it more intense, but the fact that you take so much damage just makes it a really punishing fight for beginners like me, because then how am I supposed to deal with that much damage? I'll just die half of the time unless for some reason I learn how to dodge it. I'm guessing the problem is, well, you need to, in Metroid you have to learn how to avoid attacks a lot. In some other games, you can block and take attacks as you go along, but this game, clearly, you cannot do that. Alright, I'm gonna actually set this up properly this time. Oh, Okay, after a set amount of damage, he just immediately retracts its tentacle. If that's the only phase of the fight, then it won't be that bad. But for now, it's... Ooh. And now we have that to deal with all of a sudden. That I didn't expect, by the way. Jeez! We got through the easy part of the fight, and now... See, look, that did more than 100 damage, I tell you. This is an impossible fight. There is literally no way to dodge. I think I have to use Grapple Beam on that now that I think of it. But man, this fight is just impossible. How do speedrunners even do this? 5 energy tanks I still have, and yet I cannot do this boss fight properly. It's so annoying. And I'm not cutting out anything because I want to... You guys... we need to learn this together. Because the only way to really get better at Metroid is to literally learn how to do each fight as flawlessly as you possibly can. And then avoid attacks properly. That's literally all you have to do. If you don't know how to avoid attacks properly, you're never gonna beat the same. That's just the way it goes. I should probably intentionally use the first thing to farm up more health before going into the second phase, but at the same point, I also want to do damage to the second phase early. And yes, so I had 90 energy and I sit around 80. That more or less confirms that that's more or less occasionally just a full tank of energy damage. Why do you have that much damage in a Metroid game? I don't know, but that's honestly a little intense for me. It just makes it a really difficult fight for no reason whatsoever. So I'm pretty much gonna play aggressive here and hope that it weighs off. Which means we're using missiles on all of these. Okay, I can dodge that more easily. I'm gonna prepare this now, in case that attack comes. And it does. So, yeah, see, that's how we're supposed to avoid that attack. In fact, we're supposed to use the Grapple Beam more to avoid those attacks as well. Like, right now, we're supposed to be using Grapple Beam and a couple of other stuff to do attacks. And we're supposed to get off in between cycles. Alright. I like how, in a matter of instances, I've immediately figured out what to do. At first, I was so confused what to do. And also frustrated that he wasn't giving me health back. And then, suddenly, this occurs. And then I'm like, oh, I just found out what to do. Is he dead? Please tell me he's dead. Please tell me he's dead. He's turning to ice. I think he's dead. Okay, thank goodness. Finally. And yes, that part I kind of figured out on my own because it's like, well, that attack can't be jumped over, so you probably have to Grapple Beam over it. And sure enough, there we go. Finally. Oh, but first we fall into a little trap here. Unusual. So because of all the delayed effects, this is going to be our gravity suit in our next spot right here. This is literally got to be our gravity suit. I don't see why it could be anything else. It's very frustrating to get this puzzle though. Again, yet another hard boss. I swear, I'm gonna call this episode hardest boss ever. Just because of that, because I'm not gonna lie, some of the boss fights they have are just pretty brutal. But that's the way Metroid was designed, I guess. And the only way to truly learn them is to pretty much learn how to avoid every single attack. And once I learned how to evade the attack, the boss fight went no problem. Which really heavily changes multiple playthroughs, because now you know that people who speedrun the game are like, well, I already know what to do, so I could just do this and win the fight like that. And that's yet another part that makes blind playthrough in these games in particular really difficult because, well, one, it's more annoying, and two, it's just been brutal. Also, it didn't even give me an option to go up. Instead, this was literally just a boss to block a shortcut. It didn't even have gravity suit. This is a bit frustrating. We have no choice but to keep going on. Alright, well. Yeah, another new area. Gavaron. Ugh. I just discovered there are even more areas than I thought. We still haven't even taken out all enemies yet. Yes, they've been disabled, but for the most part, but I feel like they're gonna be activated again. I just have this hunch. Yeah. And yes, I did take a look at it. I think around 20 minutes was just that boss. Not gonna lie, blind playthroughs can be very difficult when you don't know what you're doing. Thankfully, at least I was able to be comfortable doing that. Okay. Okay, we can't do that, so we're probably gonna find super missiles here next. Can't go up that way anymore, by the way. Total recharge, always nice. I don't even want to test what these enemies can do. I'll just try to avoid as many enemies as I can. Which I did nicely. Oh, wow. It's another one of these jerks. So this is the return of the Chozo Elite again. Or Robot Chozo. This time he's not in the best arena at all, so it's going to be very much difficult. Not gonna show mercy against him this time. Gonna just hold down and fire missiles into his brain until he dies. That's ultimately the way to deal with these guys, is as they go up, just fire missiles at them. And then when they go into the melee attack, just avoid it. Until you deal with them properly, they're probably not gonna allow you to get really far. And the last time we dealt with one of these jerks, it was not easy by any means. This time I'm gonna go pretty much non-stop though. Make sure that I can actually at least attempt to take him out. But again, I hate these guys. They do just a lot of damage. And that time, the pattern for that was not easy, so I actually have to dodge some of the attacks this time around. So, yet another trap with yet another Elite Chozo. The pattern for this, I'm honestly not sure of. I think the only real choice is to just try and avoid all of his melee attacks that come running. Because he seems to always do like one regular attack and then one melee attack soon after. So we have to first avoid his ranged attack, and then afterwards avoid his melee attack. And he has two different forms of them too. A quick one, like that, and a red one. The red one I'm not really nice about, because that one is very brutal to avoid. Pretty much a trap and a half. But I don't really have much of a choice here. I guess if I wanted to, I'm gonna have to do like the troll again, except this time it's gonna be even more annoying. I'm gonna have to pretty much jump around his full body this time, which is even worser than the loop I had to do before, which just further proves how difficult this game has gotten to be. If I could dodge that attack, then that makes that a lot easier, because then I could just get free damage on him. Please. Okay, good. Alright, got him down the second time, but that was not easy. We used literally all of our missiles to take out that jerk, and we still have to escape the room. I'm gonna prepare missiles and quickly destroy this jerk if I can. I tried to escape to the soul heal, which we did. My goodness. Yeah, another Chozo warrior attacked us. My goodness. That's not even a full boss fight. That's just an elite regular fight that takes forever. That is unnecessarily difficult, in my opinion. At some point, we're gonna need a way to take those guys out really fast. Otherwise, we're just gonna get screwed over and over again. But at least now we can move on with our life and actually do things more cooler, like maybe find the gravity suit, which hopefully is here because I want to find it, as well as go into the surface. I've completely forgotten about that too. Like we're trying so hard to get to the surface. So supposedly we should be able to just walk through this, but I don't think that's gonna be the case. Yeah, okay. But we were, okay, well, we were able to deal with that. Okay, these guys are really good up top. I might use them later. Because those guys, those can allow us to farm missiles later in the game. Alright.
Uploading data.
Samus, you are approaching the surface. This area, Gathering, appears to be an underground forest.
Okay.
The enemy have been deactivated, but Ravenbeak still desires the Metroid DNA within you. I have reviewed the video log of your encounter after your arrival. You were no match for him then. You are no match for him now. It is true that you have recovered many of your combat abilities. However, my analysis suggests that you would not be a worthy adversary for him, not even at full power. One thing still eludes me. Why did Ravenbeak spare you during that encounter? Something must have motivated him.
Huh, okay, well that's a bit suspicious. So does it mean he literally just wants to destroy me later, or is he not bad friends with Samus, but instead friends with someone else? Oh, we need a completely different item to get that. Okay. Lots of movements and forced teleporters here. Of course, they have to put enemies down there in the same spot as I'm trying to avoid a much more annoying threat. Fine, I guess I'll farm off of them a bit. At least until I can use a charge shot to actually kill this jerk. Alright, what's this do? All of that only to go back to Daron, huh? Okay. Went from Gaveron straight back to Daron. What is going on anymore with this game? It's become really confusing now, honestly. Going through multiple zones, but not even finishing them. Still, we haven't found the gravity suit. If we could find that and maybe power bombs, we could finally clear out everything. Until then, we're just helpless again. I found out we're still helpless even with full energy. Which basically means at this point, even with full tanks at 100%, the final boss is still probably going to be very difficult. Like, Mother Brain is difficult in its own way in Super Metroid, but at least if you have full other stuff, you could usually take her out right away. It's the other bosses that are usually difficult. But with this spot, it gets a little bit chillier because suddenly, well, it's like... Wait a minute. Why do I even have to go into this area? I could just go in, get the item, and leave. So, yeah, that was a cold zone, but I was able to get that. Okay, so that entire area was actually a trap. I thought it was a good teleporter, but it's not. But I guess at least we got an extra missile, which means we're closer to 100%. But, yeah. Now, my actual long play I shotted, I don't know. I didn't actually watch it, but I kept on... When I search videos, I keep on getting this, whatever research thing of, Metroid Dread as, like, a 7-hour-ish long play, and I just realized something. It never explains that it gets 100%, so it might actually be a even longer 100% than I thought. But, given people could beat this game in an hour and 20 minutes, maybe they could do 100% in, like, 3 hours. Still, though. As a blind playthrough, I don't see how I'm gonna do it in less than 2 hours, though. I like how I can do a lot of damage to the guy, but I still can't actually beat him once. Well, that was a skip trick and a half there. I think that's the first real time we've done something really silly in this game. I wonder if that could be used in other places as well. I know Wild Jump have always had some ridiculous mechanics in the game, but yeah, I knew that was the area I needed to go. Okay, let's do this. Didn't escape, but we found Super Metroid. Okay, this allows us to actually explore this area properly. Alright, cool. Definitely needed that. So now, a stronger version of Missile. Hold R and then press Y to fire. This can destroy Super Missile covers. Wait, it just improves our missile? It doesn't actually make it change? At least from what I remembered, Super Missile ammo, usually missiles are combined in some other games with... Sometimes there's super missiles on their own, and then there's missiles on their own, but this one actually is just an upgraded version of the missiles now. That's still cool and everything, but it kind of defeats the purpose of super missiles. With that being said, I'm glad we found it because we definitely need it. Yeah, sure enough, that literally just upgraded our missiles. Which actually means the super missiles are pretty overpowered in this. In other games, you could use them at the cost of consuming 5 ammo at a time. This game, nope. You don't consume any big ammo when using this. Wow, this is... I'm pretty sure I can get to this, but I am not having luck with jumps here. This is more or less probably another speed booster block. Okay, we got it on the first try, though, thankfully. I'm actually kind of surprised I figured that part out, and yet I was... but despite that, I couldn't figure it out for a little bit. I like how I've struggled on some other spots, and yet that one I, like, instantly figured out that's a speed booster block, and then I just used it to go through, and sure enough, there we go. Simple as that. Okay, there's a hidden item in the room where we took out that Chozo warrior thing. I find it quite ridiculous that we've had to defeat so many Chozos already. There's our block. And our second block. Alright, this will lead us to our hidden area. Oh, okay. Not necessarily. It looks like the game wants me to do a little bit extra first. Wait a minute, this isn't just a regular secret. Look at this! There's even more stuff down here. Okay, well, this is surprising. A bit surprising, nonetheless. But why is the thing... Oh, okay, it's not blinking. That means it was down all the way there, which is what I thought, but still, that's kind of crazy. Alright. Looks like we have a completely new area altogether. I like how that turned from just, oh, I want to get an item, to suddenly, out of nowhere, I found a completely different puzzle altogether. Which looks like yet another grapple puzzle for missiles. Again, this is 100%. We have to get all items, so we will have to get this. Okay, we got it. Second try, not too bad. Yeah, all of those are crumble blocks, definitely. Did not expect anything else there. Huh. That's odd. We know that's a super missile door, but what about this? Okay, well, the super missiles, whatever they talked about, it doesn't work about that, apparently. Okay, so that is a completely different cover altogether. In fact, that's probably another spot that I mentioned before. We still haven't gotten power bombs. I think that's gonna be our power bomb cover. Alright, well, we're back. Well, we did literally all of that for nothing but missiles, unfortunately. So that means our true path actually does lie down the way that we initially went and skipped. I am still gonna try and go fast, but as certain things happen, I may choose not to go fast after a little while. Okay, that's a super missile lock. The thing we just saw is not a super missile lock. I like those bugs, by the way. Those are pretty easy to defeat, and they give you a lot of jobs for some reason, and I just love it. Okay, that won't work. That also doesn't destroy the thing. That means I'll have to get in from the other side. Thankfully, that's pretty easy to do with this cover. Oh wait, no, that's the cover I already went through. It's the part I mentioned where I needed... nope. Down below. A lot of the time, by the way, in this is spent literally just missiling every single spot, or bombing every single spot, until you find the hidden corridor. What's even more annoying is the game clearly... Okay, that does not work against that. I used a lot of missiles just to get through that. Okay, good. Well, that means the actual block I'm looking for is... Can this thing actually be killed? I'm about to check that, because I'd really love to take out this brat so badly. Oh, there it is. It's a speed booster block, which we can actually destroy for once, but not quite. We do still have to kill this guy. Like, we pretty much can't do anything while this guy around. So we're gonna try and use our new effect to try and destroy him a bit quicker. I want to find out if this big beast thing is actually killable or not. Might take some small damage, but as long as I'm not in the beam for a long time. Okay, there we go. He finally died. Very high health boss there. I think using super missiles would have been much easier. And I still can't really get enough speed for this, but at least now I know what kind of block that is, so now I can actually attempt to... Oh. Not the right beam. Excuse me. Alright, so how am I gonna build up enough power? I think it'll be from here. Probably. Or even worser, this whole area doesn't have a zone that's fast enough to build up speed booster. That means I have to go to the other zone and then go through it after a little bit of other time. Ooh, that's gonna make it nice. That means by default this area has to have the build up. Otherwise I won't be able to do anything. Alright. Well, first we're gonna pull this off. And then we're gonna actually reveal this. And of course it traps us in. Ah. Hit me. That's really difficult to time, you know. Oh. We had it! I saw that! We had it for a second, and then we just... we lost it. It is not fun so far. If I could just blast this thing out of the way somehow, I think that would be cool. Okay, that's too far. That's also too far, even barely. Wait a minute, can I just pull this? Yeah, wait. Okay, well that changes everything. Oh, again, no! It just... Ah, rip me. How far away am I supposed to go just to get this frickin' door to go away? So annoying. Ah, okay, grab the ledge there. I cannot grab the ledge there, otherwise that will pretty much end my run immediately. Okay. They definitely make you work hard for 100%. They basically require you to do every single thing required. You fall down, you don't jump a certain way, it's immediately lost. I think run up actually is not as big as I thought. I just need to jump properly now. Not gotten this once so far, and it's a bit frustrating when I'm trying to 100% this game. There we go. Okay, we got it finally, like 5 tries later. Whew. Okay. And yes, blind playthrough, I am not skipping anything, so... Yeah, you saw all that live. And we have yet another robot area. Another mini area? A loon? That's so close to Berenia, though. I know that assisted. Okay, my mind just got blown wide open. How many friggin' zones are there in this game? It's just ridiculous. Yeah, how does anybody expect to do this like 100% in like less than 10 hours? That's my goal now, beat it in less than 10 hours somehow. A game I thought would be short is not actually that short. In fact, it's decently compact for even a Metroid game. Ugh, not gonna lie, it's getting a bit annoying. If we want to really get it done at the time, we have to improve our pace a bit. Okay. And we can't... Oh, we can't skip this, I just found out. You can skip cutscenes, but only after you've seen them once. I guess we'll end off with whatever this is, assuming it's not a boss fight. If not, then we're gonna throw missiles into it to try and defeat it as fast as possible. Because that's my way of dealing with pretty much everything. Oh, I just realized this is the surface. I think we finally found our way home at last. Supposedly. And complete. What? Yeah. Oh, now we're open all of a sudden? Okay, well, I guess this is an interesting way to leave off the episode, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a like if you enjoyed, comment, rate, subscribe. Still struggling through Metroid Dread. In the next episode, maybe we'll get enough major items to actually finish the game. But until then, leave a like if you enjoyed, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video where we continue hunting for items in Metroid Dread. Until then, bye.